start out with Craig. All right. So the NBA is about to start December 22nd. It's only 71 days rest, Craig. Do you think it's going to impact certain players?
Uh, I mean, I would assume so since they normally get like what 4 months off instead of 2 months off. So I think if you're older, like LeBron James has been in the finals 9 times in the last 10 years or whatever it is, then yeah. I mean, plus he's 35, so he's older. But I mean, maybe guys like I would say Rondo, but Rondo really didn't play that much. I mean, if you're older or if you have like a big time injury, you're trying to get back to 100%. You're still not 100%. You just want to maybe get a few more. You would probably want to get a few more weeks in, but at the same time, like some of these young guys, I'm pretty sure they have fresh legs, so they probably want to get back out there and play. I think if you're the Heat or if you're the Lakers or the Nuggets or the Celtics, you probably have a bigger gripe because you were in the Final Four of the NBA. So obviously, those guys are probably going to be feeling it maybe a little bit more at the beginning of the season. They might be a little sluggish, might be a little slow out the gate as far as the record goes or how they're playing, whatever. So those four teams, I can understand if they want to. At least some of the team I might have a little beef with starting out on the 22nd versus starting out in January. But if I were to say, like, if I were to pick one player, I mean, some players, like the one that comes to mind is LeBron James. Like everybody else is kind of, they might have their arguments or have their beef or whatever it is. But I think LeBron James is probably like the guy to sit there and say, you know what, I'm not going to start on the 22nd. I'm going to start in January. You just don't pay me or whatever it is. And I can understand that. I wouldn't say nothing to it because I mean he's done pretty much everything that can be done in the NBA. So everybody else, especially those teams that like the Warriors haven't played since March. Like all those teams they've had that'll be like 9 months off. And then you had the teams who obviously didn't make the playoffs but were at the bubble. I wouldn't count those teams as well. And then obviously the playoff teams, but the Final Four, and then LeBron James definitely.
Yeah. You got any comments, Joe?
Yeah, I think, like Craig said, it'll be harder on a lot of the older players, but I think it'll also be tough mentally. Going from having 4 months off to only having 2 months off. I mean, when does training start? In a couple weeks?
Yeah.
The finals just ended. It's not a lot of rest. It's not time for vacation, seeing family.
Yeah.
And just turn around and go back in it. It's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both of you. And this is going to be interesting because you do have somebody like LeBron James, and then you have other players too. Like I know Harden, Westbrook, Kawhi. They were in the bubble. It's going to be harder for those four, but it's going to be interesting because a lot of teams, like man, KD and Kyrie had a lot of time off. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, they had a lot of time off. So they're probably going to come out the gate like really fast. Craig, I don't see LeBron missing time. He's not like that. He might have a low minute count, lower than normal. I just don't see him taking off a month. I think he loves the game of basketball too much for that. But I can see a couple players. They call it load management, but I can see LeBron James having a groin or hamstring injury or sitting due to rest. That's what they call it.
Bet days in the middle of the week.
Yeah. I can see that going on. Actually, not even LeBron. I can see it going on the first month for a couple teams. Like Miami. I can see that going on. I can see it going on definitely for the Lakers, definitely for the Clippers. Kawhi already does load management, so I can only just assume, even though he left the bubble, he's still getting shorter rest than he normally would. So I could see him definitely probably load managing. Yeah. All right.